Now, U.S. State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce has said that the United States' relationship with both Pakistan and India remain unchanged and that the U.S. diplomats are committed to both the nations.
I think that for the region and for the world, the United States working with both those nations is good news and will promote a future that's beneficial.
The statement by the White House spokesperson was in response to Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir's recent visit to the US, where he issued a new threat against India. Munir had threatened to take down half the world if Pakistan faced an existential threat in a future war with India. The White House spokesperson, however, did not condemn Asim Munir's remarks against India. In fact, U.S. reaffirmation of ties with Pakistan comes against the backdrop of Trump's efforts to bolster ties with Pakistan. It was just last week that Pakistan Army Chief made his second visit to the U.S. in 2 months. In his June visit, Munir was hosted by Donald Trump at the White House. Additionally, the U.S. recently designated the Balochistan Liberation Army as a terror organization. Trump also recently signed an oil trade deal with Pakistan, and on 12th of August, the two countries even held the latest round of counter-terror dialogue in Islamabad. Also in a joint statement after the US-Pak dialogue in Islamabad, the US lauded Pakistan's counter-terror efforts and offered condolences for recent attacks in Pakistan.
There has been a US-Pakistan counterterrorism dialogue that was established. At this dialogue in Islamabad, the United States and Pakistan reaffirmed their shared commitment to combating terrorism in all its forms and manifestations during this latest round of the talks in Islamabad. The United States and Pakistan discussed ways to enhance cooperation to counter terrorist threats.
The U.S. State Department spokesperson once again claimed role of the U.S. in India-Pakistan ceasefire. This even as India has repeatedly maintained that there was no U.S. mediation before the ceasefire was reached upon after India carried out Operation Sindoor in retaliation for the Pahalgam attack.
We described the nature of the phone calls, the work that we did to stop the attacks, and to then bring the parties together so we could have something that was enduring. And it's a very proud moment and a very good example of what Secretary Rubio was committed to, Vice President Vance in that, of course, case as well, but are the top leaders in this nation involved in stopping that potential catastrophe.
U.S. growing bonhomie with Pakistan comes amid the ongoing trade standoff with India. The U.S. President had raised tariff on India to 50% on 6th of August over its Russian oil purchases. And WION also spoke with strategic affairs analyst Alok Bansal to weigh in on this. Listen in to what he had to say.
US probably either is, I think, trying to gloss over the fact that Pakistan itself was actually creator of many of these terrorist outfits. Of course, what the Balochistan nationalist movement is quite different. BLA has indulged in certain acts of violence, and so its declaration of BLA as probably a terrorist organization could still be justified at the behest of Pakistan. But the open support for Pakistan that is emanating from DC is actually quite disheartening, especially considering the fact that Pakistani government today is far from a democracy. And US, which for decades have been touting itself as a supporter of democratic values and democracies, shows that it has actually moved away from the core values that the founders of America had established for the United States of America. Now, criticizing please understand, BLA may have indulged in violence, but Baloch nationalist movement has genuine grievances. And many politicians within Pakistan, many people across the globe have highlighted it. The Baloch have been tortured. There has been actually hundreds of Baloch overground activists are missing. There's a lady doctor who has been incarcerated without any charges for over 4 months. She was named as one of the most influential persons by the Time magazine. She was not allowed to fly out despite having valid passport and visas. So I think this statement is extremely one-sided, which is coming from US establishment. I think US seems to be showing its unstinted support to Pakistan at this point of time. And consequently, there is euphoria as far as Pakistan and its media is concerned.